Welcome to the Chris Chan Weekly Update for the first week of December 2020. It has been 146 days. Who cares about this part? Let's go over to Twitter. Oh my god, this is a very, very long thread. My name is GiBi, and I'm going to be reading this novel to you today. I want you all to just read all of this and listen up, because I, Sonichu Prime, have a lot to talk about right now. Firstly, I am reading Opus Con 789's fanfics. That implies that there's more than one fanfic. If you want, you should go and watch last week's video where we looked at Chris reading one of the fanfics in a video. That was something. And oh boy, do I have my fair share of grief against him. But, moreover, on all of the haters in this dimension who have been talking nothing but smack against our one and only OG OC of all OCs, Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu. You all are stuck on past, outdated notions and ideals that she has literally, personally repented, felt bad in doing, and moved on for the most part. Chris is not a freaking narcissist. He literally just said, the one and only OGOCs of all OCs. Oh, he's not a narcissist, though. Chris is not a freaking narcissist that you lot make her out to be. She does not objectify women or whoever else. She used to, sure, but that was years ago. She has grown up and matured since then. She is not a freaking man-child that you all want to hold in your memories. That is bull. And in response, Chris actually appreciates all the amendments, including everyone having rights to bear arms, and she always has been for universal health care for everyone, including Obamacare. Sure, you all think someone like Billy Mays would make a good leader, but I've got news for you. In the few short months he was mayor of Quickville, he was a major do-nothing and had nothing in his brain about politics. There are such things as electoral votes within the offices. It's not a freaking 5,000 to 1. Freaking kangaroo. So Chris is now insulting a dead man. I don't think he knows what electoral votes are. And apparently he's heard the term kangaroo court before, but I don't know if he's using it right, because I don't know what he means. And Chris is not freaking fat. She has slimmed down, and she has breasts, which, let's face the facts, all boobs are blobs of fat, but they exist, regardless of gender. Whoop-de-doo. And another thing, do you all know when was the actual last time Chris went out looking for a sweetheart? Years! The last one, and over with, was that freaking fat fetish troll. Ever since, she has not sought anyone, and her mind has not been on sex for most of nearly a decade. Why the do all of you humans focus so much on freaking sex and all of the negative things within that and force those labels onto others? I seem to remember that there was an entire issue of Sonichu about sex, Sonichu. Do you want to talk about that, Sonichu? Stop projecting yourselves and your fetishes onto others. That is just plain dumb. Nobody wants that. Another thing, the dimension merge. Do you all seriously think everyone is going to be teleported to one city in a single state and expected to live there? No, that's asinine. Everyone will stay where they are during the time of the dimension merge flash. Also, Equestria will remain in its subdimension area that can still be accessed by the portals. It is not going to freaking relocate from the East Coast to South Park, Colorado. How stupid is that? And Celestia, Luna, Cadence, Twilight, and the other alicorns are not going to ever be on that chopping block with any politicians. That only applies to those on the Earth who are humans. So that's in reference to Chris saying that politicians and soldiers and businessmen are probably not going to survive the merge, but because Celestia, Luna, Twilight, I don't know who Cadence is, but those three are princesses / queens or whatever, so they're technically politicians. But he's saying that they will survive the merge because it's only politicians on Earth who are evil. A lot of this is in reference to these fanfics that I haven't read, because I didn't know they existed until I started reading this. For example, he continues, Lightning Quartz, Earth Pony Alicorn. You expect him to be a leader? He is literally not the type. I'm guessing that's in response to something that happened in the fanfic. Let's take a moment to bring up Evan George, that unhateful hater troll. He may have discovered Simon, not Simonla. But as Simon was still actually a sibling with Simonla, it is still valid. Okay, so if you've seen the Sonichu video that I put out, the 5.5 hour long one, you know that there was this kid who made his Sonichu OC named Simon Chu. Chris then stole this idea for Simonla. It was basically just a gender-swapped Simon. And the kid, went after Chris for copyright because he stole his idea, so Chris kills off Simonla. And then a couple years later, he decides that because Sonichu is real and that all this really happens, the kid can't copyright the character. So then Chris not only brings back Simonla, but also introduces Simon into the comic. So Chris is saying that even though Evan George discovered Simon Chu, because he's still sister-brother with Simonla, it's not uninspired copy-paste, slight remodify and regendering. They both already were existing long before either Evan or Chris discovered either of them. And they both called their physical appearances and features as they saw them. Now, Simonla's and Wild's daughter, Sandy, she is not bloodthirsty or epic violent. She is more tame than that and has good self-control. That one time that Chris in this dimension ended up chronicling, they had good reasons, and those haters nearly killed her mom. That's in reference to, when Chris killed off Simonla, he then needed a character to replace her in the story, so he had her immediately have a daughter, and then that daughter got revenge on the people that killed her by, mutilating their corpse. And torturing them. I guess in the other order, though. It's still just as traumatizing, and Wild Sonichu does not have a country bumpkin accent. His voice and accent is the same as Peter Quinn of Guardians of the Galaxy. So just like a normal American accent. Although I guess to Chris that would be an accent because he has a weird Virginian accent. Which can sequence well into the next topic, the relationship and workload share between Rosie and I, Sonichu Prime. Literally have done more than half of the chores around the house during the free time when we are not out defending the city and whatnot. I clean up the entire house with the vacuum. I do the dishes. I even cook, and the food is delicious. And Rosie is not a sex object. That BDSM thing in Book 9 was her idea. I did not put her up to all that. It was a fun experiment between her and I, nothing more, and as Chris did end up chronicling in Book 15 and others, I actually listened well when talking with Rosie about our problems. The BDSM scene that he's referencing was a joke that Chris stole from Family Guy. That's apparently so canon that Sonichu has to talk about it almost 10 years later. I help her in her feelings and frustrations, and boy did we both have frustrations over recent months, since we were near yet so far between dimension. She felt lonely, as did I, but now she is here in this dimension with me, fully, safely, and well with her body. Does that mean that Chris can see and touch Rose Chu, fully now? She's not just, an aura apparition? Interesting. I still need to get myself and this body to Quickville. True. But that return portal is still very difficult to manifest from this side of the Iron Curtain, and Jacob Sockness and his cronies, spelled wrong, are completely unable to manifest one either. Good. Changing topics a bit, I'll tell y'all some true stories that will fill some of those plot holes in the books. After that battle at the mall in Book 0, Kel, Rosie, and I journeyed for nearly a year together in training. Rosie ended up find her powers and abilities again, and she can run mock speeds. She is not powerless. She never was. So that's in reference to a fan comic called Rose Chu's Story, in which the main issue of the story was that Rose Chu had lost her powers, and Chris decided that this was canon, except for the losing her powers part, so he has to add this in as a retcon. She just didn't know better for a while. After we returned to Quickville, it was time for Rosie and I to move into our new abode. Kel continued on her journey and checked in with Rosie from time to time via emails, texts, and phone calls. Kel has continued to do very well in earning every single gym badge for herself and her crew. And for the first couple of years since our return to Quickville, Rosie and I were readjusting, and she still had some trouble with her abilities and powers, but she has been practicing and further retraining herself hard. And, with Christine Chan's help as well, I have been helping coach her along the way as well. But she put in the greatest work of all in rediscovering herself. So yeah, our relationship over the years has been mutual, 50-50, give and take, and all that. not selfish bull like all you seem to think. Off note, we have fire departments in Quickville. Bubbles is not the fire department. Again, that's asinine. And Chris Chen never dozed off or was lazy in her work over her time as mayor and defender of Quickville at all. She has worked very diligently and hard on her decision-makings and political tasks, in addition to the heroic duties as well. Yeah, the sweetheart search, that was still a thing with her, but she always failed because of the chronicler clause Chris employed retroactively in 2018. And Christine Chan lost interest in the sweetheart search after 2010, when she literally and magically transformed fully and permanently from the male body to female body, with all the parts and very little body hair on her human form. And during the times and years that have not been chronicled in your dimension here, we all have continued on and working hard. Meeting more and more of the others who lived on our Earth in C-197, and continue to grow, mature, and develop as individuals. Something that, apparently, a lot of you humans in this dimension just cannot seem to grasp or do for yourselves, so you project recklessly upon Chris Chan. Speaking of our dimension once again, OpusCon987 ended up not accessing C-197 in his fanfics. He accessed another, distant dimension, different from C-197, where there, everything is just as all of you haters perceived us, but we are not. And that merge was between 1218 and that dimension, and SNT was taken away from C-197, and so were the rest of us. What? Fortunately, it ended up becoming completely undone, but our memories still meshed with our respective self counterparts there, and that was no fun. Did he just say that this random other dimension merged with the reality, but like our reality here, but then that was undone? I don't get it. Why say that? Why not just say that there's two realities that merged, that aren't either of us or C-197? One last thing I want to point out about all of you bad trolls and hater types, including OpusCon himself. I am just as surprised as all of you that Chris, in all her wisdom, she is literally intelligent and bright. Never call her dumb or stupid again. He's not narcissistic though, guys. Still cares about all of you alongside the remainder of the population in this dimension who are the opposite of you lot. She sees the remaining benefits and genuine deep good in all of you. She is not dense or blind to all of y'all's faults. All of y'all's faults. But the respect is there. Also, post-merge, the world will not be a Chris Chan runned world. Runned? Does he mean ran or does he mean ruined? Christine literally works with all the other deities, and they all have priority governing and protection over their nations and domains, respectively. A mayor is still present in Quickville for the lower political activities, but since we have a literal goddess with our OG Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, and while she precipitates in the politics, she mainly works hard in greater laws, helping the citizens, city, and nation improvements, and all of that. Not as Noir or Vert would do in Last Station and Lowy, and Lau? I don't know. And all of the other cross-national aid and work as well, diplomacies included. Sigh. Not sign, as Opus would spell it. But I've let out all of my frustrations for the time being. I pray to Chris Chan and all the other deities, all of you will actually offer a lot less hatred and misjudgment upon her and the rest of us, and the Dimension Merge, and a lot more kindness and understanding. Sonichu. P.S. You may retweet all of that above, or whatever. With all of the hazers in this dimension, I feel like all you do not deserve the god or goddesses, Jesus, I guess, including Chris Chan Sonichu herself, that have been helping and guiding all of you over all this time. Wow. Rude. Also to add, in regards to our music, literature, video entertainment, and so on in Quickville, it is not limited. The media we have is not only local and favorited, but also imported, exported, and a whole bunch that you all have here, and everything else we have in our world, from all over the world, and even throughout the universe. To go touting that on every channel in Quickville it's the Christine Chandler show, or nothing, but I so need cute girls, playing on the I so need a cute girls, playing on the radio 24/7. That is not the case. We have universe-wide variety, stolen directly from Rick and Morty. Okay, I just wanted to note that it's now been 4,090 days since Chris last applied for a job. And there's this other little counter up here that I never really go into. But this is about Chris's coping mechanisms. For example, it has been 6 days since Chris made up a new escapist fantasy to cope with reality. It has been 704 days since the dimensional merge was to be completed, a coping mechanism Chris believes will rescue him from his debt and other life problems. And it has been 1,138 days since Chris joined the cult of the Idea Guys, which further fueled his escapist fantasies. Until the other counters reset, I don't know, it's not really much use talking about these. Same day. Hey y'all. I'm going to ask a simple question, and I want only sincere answers, and absolutely no hatred or one-word comments, alright? Quickville is not a linear city. It is large and diverse. What of the city of Quickville, based on the map Christine drew, is so linear? This is the map that Chris drew. You have the mall, 1/4 of a mile, the parks on the other side of the road, I guess, subdivision areas, 2 miles. This is Sonichu's house here. Target, mini-marts, Walmart and mini-marts right across the street from each other. I guess that happens in reality too, but like, I don't know. You'd think that it'd be on other sides of the city. 10-mile circular city, and then the jungle and mountains. Is that not a line? Is this not a line? This is a different map of Quickville, where you have the entirety of Pallet Town down here, the Zapbud Fields, Kell's house, Quickville. Chris says that this is a very old map. Does that mean that the city has changed a lot, or does that mean that Chris has retconned the city a lot? Oh god. Oh no. Okay, so Opus Con wrote SNT versus Sonichu. Okay, I remember that now. This was that fanfic where SNT, whose full name is escaping me right now, it's some girl artist. He wrote a fanfiction about her meeting Chris and Sonichu and all that stuff. So Chris wrote his own fanfiction ending of the story. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do a reading about this. This is gonna be a different video. Like, this is gonna have to be a different video. Then we just got some nonsense tweets. Cheers, people are eating cake with glasses. I'm disgusted but intrigued. That's one way to eat cake. What was the last movie you guys watched in theaters? For me, it was Onward, which was an excellent movie. I missed the theaters. Hashtag Sonic the Hedgehog. The theaters are open in a lot of places, unless you live in, like, California or New York City. Theaters are open everywhere. Go to your theater. Literally? Okay. The Croods 2 is saving the entire movie theater industry. The Croods 2 is literally just as busy and big as Frozen 2 was last year, because it's the only movie that's out. If you do have a movie theater open in your area, Freaky, I don't know how much longer it's going to be in theaters, it's really good. It's Friday the 13th meets Freaky Friday. It's Freaky Friday the 13th. A teenage girl swaps bodies with a machete-wielding murderer. It's hilarious. It's a great movie. Okay, so this is... Okay, I don't even understand. Okay. Hey, Courtney, that's her name, Courtney, Project SNT, and hashtag OpusCon. He didn't even add him, he hashtagged him. Guess where I am right now? They're on the island. But he says I. This is Chris. This is Chris Chan Sonichu. I thought this was Sonichu typing on Twitter. Now I'm confused. So Chris, I think he now was just writing comic pages to retcon the story. Alright, somebody drew fan art. Somebody drew disturbing fan art of Patty Chan. And Chris said, that's cute. You should be asleep by now. Wink. Geniuses never sleep. Plus, this body has a fickle circadian rhythm. Which is fair. Okay, so some people started criticizing the fact that Chris just cannot let this Courtney SNT thing go. Please, Chris, stop. Leave Courtney alone. She doesn't want to LARP with you. Stop bothering her. And then Chris posts, leave Brittany alone. That's not relevant. Unless Chris is trying to compare this person, Sam in the pickle suit, to the guy in the Leave Brittany Alone video. Not a coherent response. Rosario Reyes is a very popular person for responding to Chris. How about you leave SNT out of your dimensional merge stuff? Chris says, she's already been involved by slipping into other dimensions and getting involved in the other hated... I know that I messed up by reading that too fast, but that is in fact how I believe it sounds inside Chris's brain. Alright, so, now we gotta talk about Courtney, I guess. I'm so sorry, Courtney. You should not have to be involved in this any longer. So she has a advent calendar for Pokemon, and that's actually pretty cool. So, the first day, she got a Pikachu pretending to be Brock. That's actually freaking hilarious. Second day was Cloyster. Third day was a very bad Mr. Mime. Day 4 was a Pancham? Semi-Poor? I don't know which one that is, because it's the wrong color. Green face. Really weird. What? Scyther, but why is it a robot? What on earth is this? What is this advent calendar? So Chris says, that's a sour Panpour. Looks like someone tried to mix in some Gatorade with its water typing. Oh yeah. Gatorade type. The perfect thing about digital art is I can use layers to draw as many outfits for Magichan as I can. Even the classic outfit of Chris Chan. Also, does Magichan ever change his shoes or gloves? We got this, and that. Keep in mind that these are all supposed to be male Sonichu. Chris says, very nice, but maybe update the glasses on the first image. There's no model magic holding them, and if you're going with the feminine lady magique Sonichu, then you might want to make the tail heart curvy at the end. Please, respect our psychic types. And this is Chris's glasses, and he's proving that he doesn't actually hold us together with Crayola model magic. Also, this person never said that they were drawing Magique Sonichu, just that they were drawing a cross-dressing Magichan. Chris also takes issue with the fact that there's a bulge at the crotch in the Chris Chan attire image. No need. So yeah, that's actually the end of the updates for this week, and now I'm gonna go read that fanfic. Thanks, Chris. You can follow me on Twitter at GiBi_Devin. You can join my Discord if you hate yourself. And if you like what I do, there's a link to my Patreon and my Streamlabs donation link in the description. Description, whatever. I also just put up a video about the Gavel Goat, or the Yavlebakken. That's pretty cool. It's a goat, and it catches on fire sometimes.